I think it's the perfect group to bring this story forward. I think this is a massive, massive story housed in just a small treasure of a moment, captured through the imagination of Stephen King and then amplified in a way that I don't know if Stephen King expected by Mike Flanagan. This film is I think of it as a treasure, and I feel like a facet in a diamond.
Yeah. And Carol, how did this opportunity arrive at your doorstep? Was it the traditional sort of talent agent sort of route and audition through self-tape and hearing back, or did someone reach out for you for this role of Sam?
Yes, Jim, this was one of those actor's dream situations where during a phone call, someone says to you, I would like you to come and be a part of this group. And I've had this privilege and wonderful opportunity with Mike Flanagan on a couple of other occasions. And every time he says it, I get the same sensation in deep in my gut because I just think so much of him, not only as an artist, but as a person. So it was a joyful moment, and I wish for every actor a moment like that when someone you really really respect says, I'd like to come join you. I would
Yeah.
like you to come join us. Yeah.
It's a massive vote of confidence, really, and it's a humbling experience to say that someone has written a character for you personally in mind.
Um, Yes, and I think because of the way I view humanity, even if someone had me in mind when they wrote something, it's not simply mine that when I get it, I'm representing a group of people or a kind of person like me. So I feel like I have a responsibility to those people who aren't me, to be to represent them in this opportunity, and that's what I carry whenever I get a role.
I suppose with Carl getting touching on the movie as such and the life of Chuck, I suppose we'll try and keep the plot in terms of the more intricate details for the cinema viewers, but maybe an overview in terms of this movie, in terms of which to tell us our audience a little bit about it, just so to give us a sort of a touch what it's about. Maybe you can enlighten us, Carl.
I think my reading of the shorts, the novella, was that this is a story about existence, about the miracle of existence, and the fact that each of us is a miracle existing inside the miracle of the universe. And we have no sense of how many universes there are. So, on some basic level, we are all um, we are all experiencing the same experience of life, and we should treasure not only our own moment, but the moments of those around us because they're having the same experience that we are. And in that light, uh, they are we and we are they. That is what I think this is about.
Okay. Intriguing concept. Carl, I was doing my research, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I do believe a good lot of the movie was filmed in Alabama.
Yes, I believe I can say that.
Yeah. And in terms of that, did you shoot in a well-renowned sort of shooting location in Alabama, or was it very much off the beaten track?
Jim, all I can tell you is that it was near a bowling alley, which I think that says a lot about the area in which we were in. It was it, it was a perfect spot for it. It's a kind of um, there's nothing more wildly distinguishing going on than the geography we were in, beautiful rivers and seasides. So that kind of forgive me, my phone is ringing here.
Oh,
That
no.
kind of thing. Yes. Um, I'm going to go back and just say
Yeah, no
again. There
problem.
was
That's
the
the
what
beauty of pre-recording. We can edit. So
for me, the beauty of where we shot this was that we shot it in a, a place where people live surrounded by incredible natural beauty, and where the size of that beauty dwarfs almost anything else going on around it. So you feel, and I felt humbled. I felt in proper place, and I think there's something in this film which is speaking about the simplicity of existence and the miracle of existence at the same time. The fact that we all have this and we share it as a reality, so we should share it as an intention.
tell us a little bit about Sam. How does he fit into the life of Chuck?
Sam Yarborough is um, is a man who deals with something that it's not always comfortable to talk about. He deals with death and transition. He deals with families who have survived uh, the the worst thing that can happen within a family. That's the death of a relative, a mother, a father, a son, a daughter. So he has, in his lifetime, developed a point of view that this is the time when people need to be most reminded of what humanity is about when a dear loved one is no longer with us, but is still among us. Um, so that's what Sam does. And it's probably tricky to say that he's joyful because people don't necessarily associate that, but it is a celebration of the life that was lived. And that's the responsibility of an undertaker or mortician.
Okay. In terms of that, Carl, just in terms of, I was looking now, a massive cast. I only mentioned a few names there, and it seemed like a lot, but there was an awful lot of names attached to this movie. So I imagine that this was shot over a long period of time, maybe both 6 to 8 weeks, but many actors will probably only spend the best part of maybe is a week, 10 days on set, maybe 12 days on set. Were there always constantly an interchanging of actors coming and going? And how long were you there for in Alabama yourself?
I was there for a relatively short time because what you just described, I think if you take that and you make it a little more compact, that might be more representative of the schedule.
Shorter time frame.
It was I believe I was there for a week, perhaps. It may maybe a little more than a week. And there all of us were in and out. And since so much of it involved your specific bit, your specific piece of life, each one of us had this massive life that we were living to ourselves, but all of our worlds were in motion, orbit, and it was joyous. It was really joyous. It also was very, very joyous imagining what that individual was going to do with that character. And the other last thing I would say about it is because I think uh, we were all being held around. Mike has a gravitational pull, so we were in perfect orbit as he had um, ascribed it around this idea, and the basis, the kernel inside it is love, and I think that's why the people who are in it, uh, we're all actors, we're all trying to do the best we can, but this was a project uh, to to bring your love. Mike loves this work, loves this art, as do I, and Mike loves the people we portray as well as the people who portray them.
Okay. Carol, I imagine so. When you got that phone call from Mike, did he mention some of the all-star names straight off the bat that were attached to this movie, or when you arrived on set, or was it an intriguing surprise for you to learn later that, oh, Mark Hamill was part of this movie, oh, Sandra Hess, oh, Karen Gillan, or did you know straight out from the bat, or was it until you were finished filming and came away, you were like, and you heard later that all these names were actually in Alabama near around when you were there as well?
Well, I would say it was a bit of a surprise because, again, once he said he wanted me to come join, I might have lost consciousness for a bit. I knew a couple of names that he mentioned, but it was more like a discovery. Who was there on set? Who had just been there? Who had just left? Who was still coming? And that was it was very, very exciting. And each name I heard and each individual actor that I met, I became more and more excited because remember, I think I had read the novella maybe 12 or 14 times after Mike told me about it. And then when the script arrived, my um, practice is to read the script every day, be familiar as I can be before I begin shooting with not only what I'm doing, but trying to get some sense of this, what kind of a world I'm in the story. So I would say it was a bit of both. A couple of people that I knew initially were going to be in it, very excited about them, and then as it grew, more and more excited and surprised by the people who were coming to play.
Okay. And Carol, in terms of the life of Chuck, when did you get to see? Have you seen the final movie since? Have you got to see it, the full sort of showing, or are you like everyone on bated tender breath going out to June the 6th to see it yourself, or did you have a cast and crew screening before?
I won't see it until I think the 2nd or 3rd of June, but that's which is the LA premiere. But I believe the way this film is being moved about, it's uh, it's it's being stepped into our existence. Jim, there was one thing I did want to say that one of I think the things that I used as preparation for this was something that I would recommend that if people have a chance, they read it. It's called Song of Myself, and it's a very, very old, very famous poem by Walt Whitman, an American poet. And that carries so much the sense and the what I believe is a part of the guiding force in this film. So I'm a library nerd. I love to read. I always suggest that people go to the original source material and work your way up. And by the time you get to this film, be prepared because it leaps from there. It's not additive; it's exponential.
Yeah. And Carol, speaking about creativity, and you have a creative project of your own going on at the moment, which you're deeply invested about. You might enlighten us a bit about that?
Yes, thank you so much. I am. I don't make my living as a writer, but I wrote at one time in my life before I began acting, and I have a pet project about the famous author and activist James Baldwin. Have been working on and continue to work on a one-man show about James Baldwin, which I hope to bring off before the end of this coming year. So um, that's that's the only thing on my bucket list.
Okay, fantastic. We're looking forward to hearing more about it. And hopefully, please God, in the future, when it's a big success, we'll have you back to talk more about it. But in closing statements now, Carol Lumley, we're going to turn it over to you for the final 30 seconds. You might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should go out to the cinemas en masse on June the 6th. Head up to the cinema, sit down with their cinema seat, have their Pepsi, their popcorn, their Maltesers, whatever is in store for them. The screen curtains roll over, and on comes the life of Chuck. And Carl Lumley, what's in store for them?
I believe the life of Chuck is an opportunity for all of us to remember things that get buried with the daily onslaught of indignity, unfairness, injustice, warfare, strife, ignorance, prejudice, bias. We can be snowed under by all of it. There is something essential, a knowledge that we have had, which we've lost, or which we don't always remember we are a part of. I believe the life of Chuck brings us back to what the pure joy of existence should mean to us and how we should want that for every single being.